All right, welcome again to another, reaction. We left off on this video, Captain Tazaryach, being interviewed about the Hebrew Israelite movement and what we believe in, So the video was 3 hours and odd, so we couldn't do it in a one reaction. So we'll come back to the part few, and we're going to do the rest of the video. You understand? So as you jump in, remember to like, share, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching on. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into it.
We don't say that. So now, when I say racism drives America, this presidential race was fueled by racism. Kamala Harris was not black until she ran for presidency. She was Asian. This is the first Asian. This is the first East Indian.
You're like they're cherry picking that.
Right. They used, and this is what I meant when I was telling you earlier. You said who uses us, who comes in the community. America does. America galvanized black people into thinking that they should vote for this woman, not because she had a plan to help black people, but because she was black. She went on BET and said, "They not like us." Why? Because Kendrick Lamar just had a song called "They Not Like Us." And because she said they not like us, everybody said, "Wow, she's black." She said she put collard greens in the tub. I don't know no women that put collard greens in the tub to this day. So yeah, and then she did the worst thing that she could have done, which I think really affected the white vote more than the black vote. Now every time she had entertainers perform, she got rappers performing, so she could now be more black. What black thing has she done since she lost the election?
What black thing has she done?
Yeah, what black thing?
I mean, if I even try to answer that question, I'm gonna get in trouble.
No, you're not. Good. Listen, this is me asking. I want to know what black thing has she done since she lost?
I have no idea.
Because she hasn't. The only picture we seen was her sipping wine with her children, but she ain't.
I see what you're saying.
Right. She ain't doing no more black shit. She not doing anything else black now than she lost.
She dropped the accent too.
Man, she had many accents. She
had
picked
like
up a
15.
Jamaican accent, Detroit accent. She did all of that.
Hey, she was trying. Come on.
And that's my point when I say racism drives America. It drives a wedge to where if we really the villains, if they wanted to make us a villain, meaning the Israelites, if you want to make the Israelites a villain, then there shouldn't be no other racism that exists. There shouldn't be no taking advantage of race, especially from a government level.
But you want to enslave white people.
No, I don't want to enslave white people. God wants to enslave white people. It's a difference. Don't get mad at me. You got to get mad at God.
Yeah, but that's all right. So God, in your context right here.
Well, in the Bible, let's say if we take black or white, out of it, there is a people or nations that are going to be enslaved for touching God's people. Let's say if I'm not an Israelite.
Yeah.
When you read Isaiah the 60th chapter, it says, "The nation that would not serve thee shall perish." So there is nations that are gonna serve God's people. Now for us, we the Israelites, of course. So we saying that's all of y'all because y'all touch black people. So God is enslaving.
But I didn't touch black people like that.
Right.
Some fucking guy in 1845 did. Who has no relation to me.
You know, just like we suffer for the sins of our father, y'all got to suffer for the sins of your father.
Or our like great
founding. What do they call themselves? The founding fathers.
Yeah, that was,
so y'all got to pay for
Freemason.
And what were we? When they said all men are created equal, was that us? No.
No, you were 3/5 at the time.
We wasn't even 3/5 yet. We wasn't 3/5 yet. Because that's the independent. In the independence in the Constitution, it was all men are created equal. I think the 3/5 compromise came with the treaty with Abraham Lincoln set up, if I'm not mistaken.
We'll look that up.
Yeah, let's look up when the 3/5.
I think it might split the difference. I think it might be not the Constitution, right? But it might not be that late.
Yeah, maybe it's not that late.
Maybe it was though. I don't know. I haven't looked.
1781.
1787.
1787.
3/5 compromise was reached among state delegates during the 1787 Constitutional Convention, and that was in New York.
Right, so it came later. So when that statement, all men are created equal, even if you add, let's say if I just throw that in there, we still 3/5, so we not equal.
That's right.
Right. So I mean, if y'all can establish that in unrighteousness, for sure, God can put these nations in chains for righteousness.
All right. So God, you think, but this is where it gets confusing for me. You're saying it feels like a cop out when you're saying, well, God says that, so take it up with him, not me. But you're saying that here on earth, and I agree with you, racism runs too many things at least and is wrong. But then you're like, but God's telling me the people that don't look like me and aren't a member of my tribe in the future, I'm going to have to enslave them.
But that's because of what y'all did to us.
But when you say, like, y'all, like, all white people.
I said, so I'm not, every single white person did not enslave, but every single white person benefits from enslaving us. From us being enslaved.
All right, but how far do you want to play this game back in history? Because while I completely agree that slavery is like the worst thing that ever happened in this country, and it's, you know, something that there are downstream effects that continue. I understand that. There have been all different types of races across human history that have been enslaved of all different types of look.
Right.
You've just been the latest, soup du jour.
Right. We don't have a monopoly on slavery.
Right.
But when Chinese people were enslaved, they still know they're Chinese. When Irish people were enslaved, they still know they're Irish. Blacks and Hispanics got enslaved. We don't speak our native language that we speak anymore. We don't know what our tribes were prior to. We don't know our history. We don't even know where we come from. Our whole culture and identity was taken from us. And we're still, like, just think about this. Every stitch of land in North America does not belong to the people that enslaved them. And here's how it'll take God to intervene, because the only way to actually rectify it would be impossible. Because the only way that y'all could fix it, y'all would have to go back where y'all came from. You know how they say, well, if you don't like it, go back to Africa? No.
I don't say that.
No. I keep saying it's general. I'm not talking about you. Listen, Julian has not said anything. He's safe. Julian is safe.
All right, good. I'm safe.
There
Safe.
Put
like
it like an X
on me,
him.
be like, I'm not
there.
I'm not one of them. I'm not going to be enslaved.
Good. He's not one of them. So
I'll stand for you.
So the only way to rectify it is to give the land back. But you ain't never going to do that. So it'll always be suffrage for Native Indians on reservations, for the Mexicans in the worst part of Mexico that they could be in. The people in North and Central and South America, it'll always be that way because the people that conquered it have no intention on leaving.
You know what, though? This was a part of history that in the spring I looked into more. I got food poisoning in the spring, so there's this show.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, fucking sucked, man. So I was
I had it happen one time.
Dude, brutal. So I couldn't do anything. Like, I literally had to, like, lay down. There was a mini series on Apple called Manhunt, and it was based on true events. A lot of it was true, some of it Hollywood fucked with, in the days after Abraham Lincoln was killed, and about, like, the quote-unquote conspiracy there. And one of the things that I then kind of went down the rabbit hole on after that is the fact that Abraham Lincoln's killed on April 14th, 1865. He had this whole plan of, like, 40 acres and a mule or whatever to give land to all the free slaves, to all the freed slaves. He had this whole reconstruction plan. And then when he's killed, Andrew Johnson, who probably wouldn't have even wanted to change slavery, comes in and says, no, fuck that. They had literally even apparently given some land out for a few days to some former slaves and then took it back from them and now did not give them the reparations, which, and this is where there's a fair argument, set up a cycle generationally of people who now had to go had to basically kill their own food, when there's other people in society who get to live off the continued passing down generational wealth of land. Right. I think there's a point to be had there for sure.
No, and so that's what I'm saying. So because none of that has happened, when we talk about white people paying for the judgment, the reason why we say God, remember I said that for me is spiritual when I follow the Bible. So if the Bible said that I had to forgive y'all for everything, as much as I would hate it, if I believe in God, I would have to do that.
It doesn't say you got to do that?
No.
What about the whole, like, turn the other cheek shit?
That's Christ talking to Israelites, what other Israelites have to do. Which
no,
is
he's talking to you. You're an Israelite.
Yeah, what I'm saying. So, and that's what we do. We go out to Israelites in black and brown neighborhoods, and we teach them to stop being violent against each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that is. That's not talking about another nation doing something to us. Christ never talked to other nations.
He never talked to other nations.
Except that one white woman, he called her dog a female dog. You know what a female dog is?
A bitch. Right?
Yes. Oh, you can say that. Yeah. So he called the white woman a bitch.
Jesus called the white woman a bitch.
Yeah, he said it's not good. He said it's not good to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what he said.
Called a baby a
bitch.
bitch.
Jesus was a gangster. You know, he beat. No, he beat.
For just $67, you can generate as...
He wasn't ready for that one. Remember, in John the second chapter, he made a scourge of cords and beat them out the temple.
He did?
Yeah.
I'm unaware.
Yeah, listen, so when...
Are you aware of this, Leslie?
He did.
He beat him with a scourge.
You're talking about when he came into like the Gentiles, right? And then he sees them.
Not the Gentiles. He came into the temple and he saw the money changers exchanging money in the Lord's house. And remember, he made the scourge of cords and beat him out and said, "My father's house
cords
not supposed to be a den of thieves." He had like a whip. He made whips.
Oh shit.
Yeah, beat the shit. And this the carpenter's son. You know that wrist game was strong as hell.
This game was good, bro. Well, let's see how you taking this. Is it affecting your worldview?
I think it's an interesting perspective. Like I said, I think the perspective he's taking, it comes down to context.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can weave any story, like any religion facet off of Christianity by taking verses and aligning them. I think that's
I agree with you on
many
that.
faiths do that are like off of Christianity. However, when you take the Bible for what it is and you take it all, and not just taking a Hebrews text to an Isaiah to then a John and Mark, but read it all as one.
Right.
You know, I don't think he's saying, "Oh, I only spoke to one nation." He's talking to all people.
But did he whip a motherfucker?
Mm-mm.
I have to look at that closer.
Yeah, that's John's second chapter.
Okay.
That's John. That's John
the
2.
second chapter. Let's go. Jesus going ham. John the second chapter. Let's see what we got.
It said Jesus going ham. Let me make sure I got the right verse. Hold up. Let me see. Let me get it here.
Unless he's trying on
John 2. Yeah, John 2. You can start at John chapter 2, 13. He makes the cords in 15.
Jesus 2:13-22. When it was almost time for the Jewish Passover, Jesus went up to Jerusalem. In the temple courts, he found people selling cattle, sheep, and doves, and others sitting at tables exchanging money. So he made a whip out of, oh my God.
Told you he was a gangster.
He made a whip out of cords and said, "Not in my house, motherfuckers." Anyway, and drove all from the temple courts, both sheep and cattle. He scattered the coins of the money changers and overturned the he was flipping tables on them.
Yeah.
To those who sold doves, he said, get these out of here. Stop turning my father's house into a market. I feel like he said, like, get this shit up out of here, yo. not up in this bitch. Not right here.
He's a gangster,
This is JESUS zone, my G. Anyway, his disciples remembered that it is written, "Zeal for your house will consume me." Wow, Jesus was a gangster. Now, here's something I ask everyone from this strict Christian realm as well. So I'm going to ask you because it's, you're coming at it from a different angle.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the Bible, there are many, many translations across many languages.
Right.
And this was written in old-ass language.
Right.
And even when you look at just the English translation, you'll find, I don't know the number, but like 40 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, if I take a sentence, without giving specifics here, and have one word here instead of here, it could change the whole context and meaning of the sentence.
Right.
There was actually a huge linguistic argument happened on my buddy Danny Jones' podcast with an ancient language expert, where there is one translation specifically from the Gospel of Mark. I don't remember what chapter. This guy Amon Hillman was talking about how it would then mean like Jesus was into some awful shit. I'll just leave it there, right? But if you read the translation of that same sentence across these other 20 English translations, it doesn't mean much, and it means something entirely different.
Right.
So when you see a translation like this, might it be more if perhaps is some of it changed in this translation we're seeing?
Yeah, so like, see how you read like the NIV? I don't read the NIV. The only
What's
version,
the NIV?
the New International Version, I mainly do the King James Version.
All right, let's read that. Now
Which say the same thing.
Now the Passover of the Jews was at hand, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem, and he found in the temple those who sold oxen and sheep and doves, and the money changers doing business. When he had made a whip of cords, he drove them all out of the temple with the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the chargers' money and overturned the tables. And he said to those who sold doves, "Take these things away. Do not make my Father's house a house of merchandise." All right, so it's very similar.
Yeah, it's very similar. So to resolve that issue, because you have many different translations, and here's the most important part: you have a word-for-word translation and a thought-for-thought translation.
Thought for thought.
Yeah, so some Bible translations are what you call thought-for-thought, meaning this is what we think they meant when they wrote it. And then you have a word-for-word where they'll take this word, and let's say if it's house in Greek or Hebrew, they make sure it's house in English.
How do we know which ones they went thought for thought and which ones they went?
It'll tell you. You could do a list. Like NIV is, I believe NIV might be word for word. So you could do a list of what's word for word and what's thought for thought. But now let's say if you're caught up at all.
Steve Jobs would not like how they did the Bible, bro. He believed in one button, one click. You know.
Yeah, Steve Jobs probably don't like what they did with the iPhone then, because he believed in one button, one.
Yeah, no, they fucked up the iPhone. You're right, 100%. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so. What I would always suggest everybody do is just go to the Hebrew or Greek that it was written in and see what that is. That's how you resolve if you're stuck at a point where you don't know if this translation is right or if that translation is right. Just go to the original language and then look what that word means in the original language. That's how you resolve that.
So if let's look at this from the perspective of you who views yourself as the true Israelite.
Right.
And you keep on obviously talking and mentioning like Hebrew in this language because it's an ancient language that existed. Hebrew was brought back. This is actually like
it died.
It died.
Right.
This is actually like an amazing recent history kind of thing that this was pulled off. But like in the early 1900s, I want to say, I guess like Jewish Zionists looking to go to the Holy Land decided to start bringing back Hebrew to speak among themselves, and they had to like it had limited words, like a limited number of words, so they even had to add words to it or whatever.
Yeah, they got a lot of Russian and German words too in there.
But it had it had been dead for a while. But you view Hebrew as your native language, like the one that your people were speaking. I don't want to say how many.
Yeah, we would say ancient Hebrew. So like the Hebrew that we would say was our original language wouldn't be what modern Hebrew is. Modern Hebrew has E's, U's, the V. I think it's the E, the U, the V, the O wouldn't be in ancient Hebrew because old languages didn't really have a lot of vowels. So ancient Hebrew didn't really have vowels. It was mainly just sound. And so it would be like Abba, Gada, Ha. It would be like that. So like Yahweh Shai would be Christ's name. Yahweh would be the Lord's name.
But that has vowels in it. Yeah.
The I is just for you to make the sound. The A is just for you to make the sound.
Oh, it's not written.
Right. That like the Tetragrammaton, the YHWH, we pronounce that Yahweh. So you could write it based on just sound. Even because like spelling, when you think about words, you take knife. It's not spelled the way you would say it.
Knife. Yeah.
Right. School. The letter C is interchangeable. So language doesn't necessarily have rules, but when you write it down, you're writing it down. When I say don't have rules, not that it doesn't have definitions, consonants, vowels, and stuff like that. But when I'm talking about when you're speaking, maybe that's a better way to say it. When you're speaking it, it doesn't have the same limits as when you're writing it. Right. So when it comes to Hebrew, you don't have to put all those vowels in there to make the word. So you're right when you say Hebrew was dead. I think before the Jewish man decided to do what he did, the Rosetta Stone was also an earmark because that's when they had the stone tablet. I think they had Hebrew, Greek, and Egyptian writing because they was even able to bring back some Egyptian writing because Egyptian writing was another language that died.
Like hieroglyphics?
Mm-hmm. They was able to translate some of the, like they call it metal netter. So even some of that wasn't all the way translated, but they was able to translate some when the Rosetta Stone was discovered. So the Hebrew language did die for a while, and it was resurrected. But I think it began being resurrected before the 1900s. Now, what Jewish people did was incorporate some of their Russian and German and Polish words into the Hebrew. That's where you might hear the term Yiddish. So you can have modern Hebrew is slightly different from Yiddish, but modern Hebrew and ancient Hebrew differ in the vowel points and stuff like that.
Do you speak ancient Hebrew?
Some. I'm not an
Can you
expert.
read it?
Yeah, well, when we read it, it's just reading the Torah. So I can read the Torah. I haven't read it in a while, but I can read the Torah and I can speak some Hebrew.
So when you, to go back to your original point where you brought this up, where you were talking about if you really want to look at it, you got to go to the original text before it's even translated, where it's in ancient Hebrew. Do you guys have like some scholars who are fluent in it?
Yeah,
we
teach a Hebrew class. So the brother, Officer Hazahab, headed by General Kabbalamov,
you guys got some gangster ass names.
Yeah, all those names are in ancient Hebrew. Like Tazaryach is an ancient Hebrew name.
That's a gangster ass name.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I like that I'm the only one with that name thus far.
Don't whip me.
I'm not going to whip you, man. But yeah, so we have a Hebrew class that we teach so that somebody, can actually learn. If they want to go into the ancient Hebrew, they can go into the ancient Hebrew.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so how does this, like, when you look up what you said society calls black Israelites, you call yourself Israelites. But like when you look that up, there's multiple different sectors of it. So there's some that are viewed as like guys who just, I guess, I'm talking about how the rest of society views it. Guys who just believe they're the original Israelite tribe, and that's that. And then there's other sectors that society decides to group as like a hate group, which I think includes yours.
That includes mine.
Right. So the other black Israelites, do you not have any association? Is it kind of like in the Christian church where you got Catholics and Baptists and
you can say a little
sectors?
bit, yeah, you can say a little bit like that. So like we always say that we're not affiliated with no group. Like ISUBK, my organization, we're not affiliated with no group. But do we know of those groups? Me personally, I interact with a lot of those groups. So we interact with them.
What do you mean interact with them?
Meaning like I've had conversations with them. I've invited them to things that we've done. Some of them I'm cordial with. Some of them I'm not cordial with. What separates us is we believe in teaching the whole truth of the Bible. They don't. So if you're not going to teach the truth of the Bible, like we're not supposed to be divided. We teach that we're not supposed to be divided. We've invited all of them to come and then let us just be united as one. They just choose to stay wherever it is that they're at.
Okay. Now, when you went and joined in 2010, is that right? It was because you had kind of started to study this and you found an interest in that.
Yeah, it was actually somebody from another group that told me about this group. I had not known about ISUBK. So when in November 29th is when I said I'm going to be an Israelite, I'm going to follow after Christ. And I was learning with these brothers from different cities and states. And I ended up asking one of the brothers, where was the truth at? Where can I go learn, like really learn? And he told me about ISUBK. That's how I got there.
Okay. And what do you like go knock on the door and say, I want to join? Or how?
No, they was doing a radio show. So Commander Jenny Hanna, who's the leader, that's my leader, he was doing a radio show online. And I went to their website. They had to contact us. And so I just contacted them, and because I'm in Jersey.
I'll bet that code was made by some white nerd in Silicon Valley. I'm just saying.
Man, we got to take advantage somehow.
Now you're taking advantage of our work.
Listen, y'all had a 400-year head start.
That's okay. All right.
Yeah, you can't
let that pass.
Yeah. So, so when I did that, I emailed them, and so they was teaching in Philadelphia. So I drove from Jersey to Philadelphia. First street speaking I ever saw, they had a white man kissing the boots.
Oh, he was kissing the boots.
Yeah, and I was hooked ever since.
You like the kissing the boot thing?
Okay, I don't like the kissing the boot thing, but I like what it does.
What does it do?
When people see it, and the reason, and just for the record, the reason why I say I don't like the kissing the boot thing because I just can't wait for the judgment of the place, so it's a little harsher. But
Vibe coders, ready to build more?
See, he laughs at it.
Yeah, but the reason I like what it does is because from a psychological position, black people are used to being the ones kissing the boots. Black people are used to the ones being in the servitude position to master. And if we can compel somebody that's just listening, because we don't force them, this is a white person that is just listening to the crimes that they committed, and as a gesture of being sorry, they do that. What that does to the black person, not with us, but that's without, it's like, damn, these must be some super Negroes to be able to get this white man to do it. And sometimes what we'll do, we'll have them kiss them. Hey, come on over here and get your boo kissed. And then give them some power so that the impact that it has psychologically is why I like it.
So you think, though, because like some of those videos to me, not the Black Israelites, I don't know if I've ever seen those, but like you'll see these videos of like, I guess like more woke videos where some like old white lady will just walk up to a black person and be like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Right.
And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? But this is kind of the same thing. It's like saying we don't like that in the past we felt forced to do this, or not even felt, like literally we're forced to do that sometimes. So now to make us feel better, eye for an eye, we're gonna make them feel like at least they gotta do that. I've never been a believer in one wrong making a right. Now, let me give an exception there. Like, I'm not a father, but I will be one day. And without going into details, I'm sure if certain things happen to my daughter, yeah.
Right.
You know,
I get exactly what you're saying.
Yes,
right.
There's laws that are not going to be followed. But when you're talking about like people who were, in this case, who were not involved
Directly
in that,
involved, right.
and making them have to like do that, it's psychologically to me kind of dumb.
But we're not, first of all, we're not getting even at all. There's nothing that we can get even by some white man or white woman getting on their knees kissing the boot. That does not make us even at all. It's not even a drop out of a bucket. The bucket didn't even tilt over for a drop. When you think about what black and Hispanics have been through, them getting on their knees means absolutely nothing. It's only the psychological effect that it has for other people. It don't, again, that's what I'm saying. It don't mean nothing to me when they do it. I just know from a visual picture, the hosing, right? You know, when the civil rights, when they used to hose us. That's the memories that black people have. Black people have memories of getting hosed, getting dogs sicked on us, getting shot sitting in your car, Rodney King getting beat and stuff like that.
Which was even way later.
Now, that's them making something happen. All we're doing is saying, if you're sorry, show that you're sorry. We're not making them doing anything. Like if that white guy says, as he's going to get on his knee, and he says, "No, I'm not doing that." We're not saying, "No, get on your knee and do it." We're not doing that. We're not walking up to him, "Hey, you white woman, get on your goddamn knee and do this right." We're not doing that.
Never? Not once?
Nah, not once. Not once. So it's not. We're not making anybody do it. They're, for the most part, we don't even because we're speaking in a public place. Everybody hears us, but we're not even speaking to white people when we're talking. We're mainly in black neighborhoods or a central location where blacks and other people are. Like sometimes we speak in Times Square, which of course is a smorgasbord of races. But we're going out there to speak to our people. Now, if a white person happens to hear it, comes up, they usually come and ask us a question about what this is. And then so we bring the history. Then when they say, well, that was messed up, and then we say, well, if you're sorry, do this, it's still not making them. Now, they may feel some compelled to do it based on hearing what we're saying, but we're not making them doing anything, and it don't make us even at all. There's nothing about that makes us even. We have not gotten any even leverage for what's happened to us in America.
But I understand like the passed down trauma and generational effects and stuff, and I think there's absolutely truth to that. I think that's been proven.
Right.
But do you think that there is, I don't want to say this, there is something wrong with people almost feeling compelled to suddenly feel like they were a part of something when in fact they've lived their whole life not being a part of that thing. And I'm talking about like the white people here. Like those
white people like, I remember there's this, one of my favorite videos is, it's titled, we call it Independence Day. It's like when one of our generals made this white woman cry. And he made her cry and he said to her, all your life, you just been liberal, allowed to go get drunk and get high, and never could realize you're benefiting on the murder of your fathers. Because most white people, especially in 2024, they're all oblivious to what we're talking about in most cases. And so I'm not saying that they know this history, but it's history nonetheless. Black people are just oblivious. We get a lot of flack from black people. You start talking to black people about slavery, man, they don't want to hear that. Black people don't want to hear about slavery. Black people don't want to hear about this. And sometimes they don't want to deal with it. As much as you say white people don't want to accept accountability for something that they wasn't a part of, black people don't want to face the trauma that comes with slavery. But if you don't face how could you survive? You have to.
But that's also my issue with that parallel is that yes, while there could be some generational effects and trauma of that, you weren't there when that was happening, right? So you're 140 years, 150, 160 years past that at this point. So the people you're speaking to did not have to have that up close and experience that themselves. And so sometimes it then feels like you are reminding them to remind themselves that, like, no, you're a victim. And, like, listen, I don't doubt that there are issues, some systemic issues in the country. We talked about them on this podcast before that need to be fixed. I'm not discounting that. But I am saying when you take away the initial idea of, like, ooh, let me use what I can of America to my advantage to get ahead, and instead of saying that, you say, no, focus on what they did to put you behind. You prevent people from trying to actually use the tools to their leverage that we've seen other black people do, by the way, to rise up and be a power figure in society.
No, well, we actually, like, I'm a business owner. So I own my own business. So I got to work.
What business do you have?
I have a body butter and body oil business.
Body butter and body oil.
Yeah, so imagine somebody like me. I sell fragrance oils, body butters, rubbing on your body, feel good. I sell hair oil, beard oil,
wow, you got a soft
candles.
That's cool. You're not selling that Diddy oil, are you?
Hell no. No Diddy oil over here. But now, so my point was, like,
you don't have to claim him, by the way. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't. You're right. I condemn him though, because anyway.
Good.
But only thing I'll say is that he hasn't been convicted yet.
That's fine.
So, and I would like to see, and the thing about with the Diddy thing is, whatever he's charged with, I hope it's something. I don't want to say hope, but I just want it to be something where he had somebody do something against their will, as opposed to somebody saying he told me I wouldn't get rich unless I did this. Because there's a difference. If somebody comes to you and say, I have to violate you for your record to get played, right? If I have to violate you for your record to get played, and you let him violate you so your record get played, you can't get charged for a crime. You just stupid. You shouldn't have done that. Now let's.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, not if he gave you I have to do this to you, or I'm not gonna play your record. I have to do this to you, or I'm not gonna make you famous. And you decide to be famous by letting him do that to you, then you just stupid because you willingly did it.
But what if you're young and this is a power figure, you're in a private place with him in this perspective, and he has taken advantage of you?
If you're young, then I put that on the parents. Now, if you're underage, then I do fault.
No, I'm even saying if you're like 20 years old or 21 years old, people I do view it as a crime as someone using a position of supreme power to pressure someone, like, basically with a wink, like, you got to do this. There's no choice here. Like, they essentially kind of take away their free will.
It definitely is a pressure, extreme peer pressure, but it's also the peer pressure of being famous at the same time. So I can agree with you and still have my position. It's like a thin line. So I can't disagree with what you're saying. And because my major point is, if you was a willing participant If he was an unwilling participant, he should be under the jail.
Okay.
If he was a willing participant, I do slightly agree with what you're saying, but I agree with my position too. If you're willing, you can't fault him for what you walked into. You let this man do this to you so you can make money. Now, if you're underage, that goes without question that he should be under the jail for that. I'm just saying it because there's a lot of stuff coming out, and I really just want to see real charges. That's all I want.
Yeah.
And I don't care about him. I think, he's a drug addict. He's taking advantage of a lot of people, so I don't care for him at all. But in being honest, if this grown man decided to let another grown man violate him so he can get famous, I ain't really got that much, compassion.
I see what you're saying. And to your point, he does have to have his day in court.
Right. And so, but now from what you were saying as far as the American side, we got engineers in our organization. We got college graduates in our organization. We got businessmen. We got we got nurses. We got lawyers. We got all different types of people in our organization. We're just we're just an organization that does not get rid of the crimes that's been committed. And here's when you say like stuff that's happened a long time ago and why we don't let it go. There's always something that transpires or galvanizes us in America, like a George Floyd will happen. Eric Gardner will happen. Rodney King will happen. All these different events that reminds us of the racism that exists. That Dylan Storm that goes in the North Carolina church and unalives those people.
A lot of people.
And then what were those people trying to do? Now, this is what separates us from Christians. We would have beat the shit out of him. He might have shot one of us. One of us would have sacrificed. Everybody else would have unalived Dylan in that church.
He shot pretty fast, though. They didn't.
Wouldn't matter. Let's say if he'd have shot 3 of us, he could have shot as many as he wanted. But there's no way nobody was not going to try to disarm him. And he reloaded the weapon. And as he's doing all of that, you know what they're doing? They're praying for him. And so that's the history that we're always reminded of, which is why there ain't been there hasn't been a form of retribution from America from a government position. You just brought up Abraham Lincoln had this plan of this 40 acres of the mule. What did they do? Unalive him and then take the land back that they gave. So there's never been an apology. Now I'm going to flip it on you. Okay. Because like you said, this is 100 some odd years from it. I'm 49, so I haven't experienced slavery. I've experienced oppression before, but not slavery. When the Jewish man, they still, in January of this year, Jewish people still got 100 and something million from the New York governor for the Holocaust. Even though.
Can we look that up? I don't even know.
Yeah, that's the New York governor.
Yeah, let's look that up.
Look up New York governor.
New York governor, money, Holocaust, Jewish people.
Yep. Look that up for me.
Guys, 3 days into this game and I have uninstalled.
All right, so Governor Hochul announces Holocaust Claims Processing Office secured over $183 million for victims and beneficiaries. An ny.gov website belongs to. Wow, that's straight from
So when we talk about, like, when people always say, "Well, y'all got to let that go. When you're gonna stop doing this?" They're still doing this for them, even though the Holocaust was like let's say 10 years. Let's say 10 years that tragic event happened to the Jewish people. So from that 10-year event, they'll still lock up Germans. Let them find a German cat. He could be 100 years old.
Yeah, they go after him.
They're gonna go after him. They still funding them. They consistently fund Jewish people. They make sure that you can't disrespect Jewish people at all. They give them all the respect in the world because they honor what the Germans did to them was a horrific crime. We've never received that same honor. We've never received that same dignity. So there ain't a leg that America could stand on to come to me to say, Tazaryach, y'all have to stop talking about that. You have to stop bringing this up. Why do you keep saying to separate from this place? Why do you say you hate us when we're constantly being reminded of said position?
I think there's a point to be made there.
Okay.
I think there's a fairness to that point. Where people get hung up, obviously, is like what we've been talking about all day, where other people are like, well, this was 150 years ago, I wasn't even here, right? And so, and we call white everything, and probably like 75% of the white people are of immigrants, right? Who weren't here. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. However, you know, to go back to something we talked about earlier, I think it ties in here. You are of the position that when we did try to take actions that I guess like the people who were taking them for the right reasons would view as trying to improve the situation, at least. Maybe not doing some of this stuff right here, but for example, during the civil rights movement, desegregating things, allowing America to be one instead of this separate whole. Part of your belief system, though, is that we should do that.
So no, that we shouldn't desegregate.
Exactly. Meaning we should go back to what it was. And you're saying the benefit is because then the black community can be a self-sufficient organization that services itself. Is that not, though, giving the powers that be, who maybe in this case, for hypothetically speaking, are racist, exactly what they want?
So part of the reason that I say that is look at the history of desegregation of black people, right? Segregation of black people brought the Brown versus Board of Education, which I spoke about. Our drugs flooded into our neighborhood. They're not flooded into white neighborhoods at all. Our homes being
Wait,
destroyed.
that's not true.
No, they're not.
That's
you ever
not
been
true.
into a black neighborhood and a white neighborhood?
Well, what kind of white neighborhood? What kind of black neighborhood? I've been in black neighborhoods that have no drugs. I've been in black neighborhoods that have a lot of drugs. I've been in white neighborhoods that have no drugs. I've been in white neighborhoods.
So if I take Newark, when I'm driving through Newark, and I'm on South Orange Avenue in Newark because I'm driving up in Newark, I'll know when I'm in a white neighborhood.
I can see every leaf on that tree. They're called pinhole vision correction glasses. No prescription. It's just tiny little pinholes in the plastic lens. Apparently they train your eye to focus with just wearing them 20 minutes a day. So whether you're nearsighted, farsighted, or have astigmatism, they reduce your eye strain and help strengthen your muscles over time. I've worn them for about a week, and last night I noticed while driving, at night, there were less halos around all of the lights that were outside, which is extremely noticeable, especially since I've been seeing those halos for years. They're only $15, and I think today they're having a sale, so they're even cheaper than that. And you get free shipping. I'll leave the link right there.
On the same street, because the closer I get to South Orange, that's right at the tip of Newark, I don't see the broken glass. I don't see the messed up trees. I don't see the stores messed up. I don't see a liquor store every other corner.
Okay.
I don't see those things. So the way that the black neighborhoods are set up are in total contrast than the white neighborhood. Now, before integration, the black neighborhood wasn't like that. You always hear you may not hear, but black people always talk about the yesteryear where we didn't have to lock our doors. We didn't have to do none of those things. Now, what happened? The CIA, along around Reagan and all of them, and even before Reagan, had the drug war, where they started flooding our neighborhoods. And so when I'm saying drugs, I'm not saying that there's absolutely no drugs in the white community. I'm really saying at the level that it is in the black community, because we learned later that the CIA was flooding us with drugs. At the same time they got the war on drugs, they got the war on black people by putting the drugs in there. So that's twofold.
Have you ever seen that headline from the New York Times about that? The CIA with the putting drugs in neighborhoods in America? It's literally, we could pull it up, Alessi, but there was a headline back then that said, the CIA investigated itself on putting drugs in the neighborhoods of America and found no wrongdoing.
Wow. Of course not. Hey, we did the investigation, we straight. And that's a beautiful painting right there.
Right there, that's the eyes. It's off camera right now. I'll put it on camera on my phone, but that's the eyes of
nice
Great
painting.
Gatsby from the story. What Dr. T.J. Ecclesburg's eyes.
Okay.
I've always had that in the studios.
Yeah, I like that. So
I don't know if he's a white guy or a black guy though. He's a blue guy.
Hey, art is art.
Yeah.
Music is music. Listen, I used to love Nirvana before he unalived himself.
Come
Smells like
on.
Teen Spirit.
So he was just saying,
I better not do that. They're gonna make a clip out of Cactus into rock. Like, entertain us. Yeah, I used to like that.
you know he should. Okay,
Yeah.
so Kurt would have been safe.
I don't know about safe, but I like the song. I like the song.
It would have been like, play the goddamn song again.
Put it up. Hey, he's like, it's the 100th time. It's the 100th time.
It's like in Goodfellas when he's like, dance,
Yeah, dance. And shot him in the foot. Yeah, so it's just so with the desegregation part, like we lost. Like them drugs like ravaged the black community. Like we still ain't survived from that. Like now they ain't on the dope and the crack. You know, they taking every pill they can find because we're zombies now. So when we're looking at it two ways. If I was in that time, I would have been against it. But now I'm not. I wasn't in that time. But history tells me that life before integration, before segregation, before integration, it's better.
Was there not still a lot of poverty though?
It's always poverty.
Teach me about it.
It's always poverty is never going to go away. Even in the Bible has laws for poverty. The Bible says when you have your garden, you don't glean the garden, meaning take every carrot, every cabbage, every tomato, you leave it for the poor. It always had provisions in place for the poor. So this is never going to be a society where everybody's rich, everybody's poor. It's always going to be rich, middle, poor. It's always going to be like that. So did we have poor in the community? Yes. But the church, which was supposed to be the pillar of the community, used to take care of the poor, used to take care of that. And then they started feeding themselves. And so the church is like one of the greatest robbers. You know, Christianity is like one of the greatest hustlers of black people. You know what I mean? And so they don't take care. And they were the biggest proponents for integration. Why? Because they were getting paid. They're getting money from the government. They get money. Like Al Sharpton, like I always think of like the famous ones, the Abernathys, the Al Sharptons and stuff like that. They get paid to push a certain agenda on to black people. And then we fall for it. Now in 2024, it's a little harder to make us fall for it because we have the internet and the media. But back then, you would go to that pastor, Martin Luther King, which for us is like the greatest sellout ever.
You think Martin Luther King's a sellout?
The greatest.
Because he wanted desegregation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think he? All right, let's play a hypothetical there because neither of us knew him. But like, obviously, I've always looked up to Martin Luther King because of what he did that you don't like.
You know, his initial. You know, he was gonna be. I ain't gonna say violent, but he wasn't gonna be nonviolent when he started.
What happened?
He let a homo teach him that. Bayard Rustin. Bayard Rustin, who was an open homosexual, taught him to be nonviolent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and that was before like the.
That's like before he got into it.
Okay.
So Bayard Rustin was right-hand man, which is weird, but that goes right into line with the black church because what the black church have, they have the community man right next to him.
Right.
So
but hold on, let's if he teaches him to not use violence, regardless of whatever his orientation is or what you think of him, if a young Martin Luther King then takes that advice and uses it for good and says, you know what, actually, that could be that. Now, you don't view desegregation as good, but just...
No, not the desegregation. Before, even not the nonviolent approach is not good.
Why is that not good?
What did it do for us?
It got what you don't want, but it did get desegregation. It did get desegregation.
It didn't even get what Martin wanted. Before Martin died, Martin said, I feel that I'm leading my people into a burning house.
When did he say this?
This is, let me see if I can find it.
And what's the context on that? Can we look that up? Martin Luther King, I feel like I led my people into a burning house.
And I think you should be able to find him with the quote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Martin Luther King, I feel like I led my people into a burning house, Alessi.
I don't know if this is it right here.
Just because I would love to know what the...
There's a speech where I'm trying to see.
Come on, lady.
Luther King in 1967 said, I fear I am integrating my people into a burning house. King said this quote in the context of his belief that the nation would continue to experience anger and violence unless justice and opportunity were given to the underclass. He also said that integration did not serve the country well, that the value of equality was overlooked in the rush to not be separate. King's commitment to fair housing played a critical role in... Wait, let me read that again for everyone out there. King said this quote in the context of his belief that the nation would continue to experience anger and violence unless justice and opportunity were given to the underclass. That makes sense. So far, so good. This next one, though. He also said that integration did not serve the country well, which would go along your thinking, and that the value of equality was overlooked in the rush to not be separate. Maybe it's because I got the headphones on and I'm hearing this ring in my head, but what is...
No, you see what he's
What am I
saying?
missing here?
No, what he's saying is, so I'm going to take the statements backwards.
Okay.
So he says, and the value of equality was overlooked in the rush to not be separate. So the rush to not be separate, meaning he wanted to integrate, but didn't think about whether we would be equal within the integration.
Right, but so that could now it's ringing for me. That could mean that he's saying we've rushed to get the integration done such that the integration isn't going to be done correctly, not that the integration shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I'm not right.
Yeah.
The meaning we didn't think about equality as we're pursuing this dream. We didn't think that because listen, at the time that he was trying to do it, black people had no power. Here's when they had the greatest power. When they had that boycott and they made the people, they said, we're not going to ride the bus. That was the greatest power they ever had because they got what they wanted because they affected the dollar. Now, what they were supposed to do is say, okay, what else can we do by boycotting and getting what we want? They didn't have to integrate to do that, and then they still got it. When he says he's feeling like we're leading us into a burning house, what that's supposed to at least make us do is not further push his agenda, but think if his agenda, you don't go in a burning house to live, you're going to burn a house to die.
Yeah.
So we got to at least analyze, is he saying to rethink, maybe if we ain't going to be equal, why should we do this?
So maybe he's not a sellout.
No, what I'm saying is he realized it was a horrible mission. He just realized it too late. The problem is the leadership that was with him was supposed to correct what he said should be corrected. Instead, they further pushed it. And what it did for us, for somebody like us, when we go out there and speak about these crimes and atrocities and this so-called hate, they use Martin Luther King and say, you have to be like Martin Luther King.
Rise above it.
Martin Luther King didn't rise above it. He went below it and kept getting whooped and kept getting whooped and kept getting whooped. And even with all that turn the other cheek, they still unalived him.
They did, but this is where it feels like it's doublespeak because if he gave in to the powers that be and was exactly what they wanted, then why did they all want him dead? Because even, by the way, let's just be conservative here because I agree with you, by the way. But even if that weren't true and he really were just killed by that dude, which is certainly sketchy to say the least, they did have him on the FBI internal most wanted, or most watch list or whatever, like the Hoover list.
Right.
They recorded all his shit.
Yeah.
They viewed him as the biggest threat. Yeah, all of it.
Wait, before you get into that, there's another reason I don't like him. His first woman was a white woman.
Why don't you like that?
Because we're not supposed to integrate. Well, first of all, biblically, we're not supposed to sleep outside of our race.
Where does it say that?
That's Deuteronomy 7th chapter. Remember, we were supposed to read that.
Right. Deuteronomy 7th chapter, don't sleep with same race. Unless he's already on it.
Deuteronomy 7:2.
All right. So is this what you want?
Yeah.
Deuteronomy 7. When the Lord your God brings you into the land you are entering to possess and drives out before you many nations, the Hittites, Girgashites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, 7 nations larger and stronger than you. And when the Lord your God has delivered them over to you and you have defeated them, then you must destroy them totally. Make no treaty with them and show them no mercy. Do not intermarry with them. Do not give your daughters to their sons or take their daughters for your sons, for they will turn your children away from following me to serve their gods, and the Lord's anger will burn against you and will quickly destroy you. Hold on a minute. Okay, I didn't see this coming. Obviously, I didn't plan this. I never read this before, as far as I know. But in this case, God is saying that it's because those other tribes don't follow him. So if other people like, if
No, it's saying they're going to turn you from following your God.
right. So
Right.
if other people do follow that same God, then they wouldn't fall under this tribal separation. So if a white person believes in God and Jesus or whatever, and isn't trying to get you to serve like some fucking sun god or something, then you could intermarry with them.
No. So, and that verse right there, you'll see Solomon lost the kingdom when he married women, and that was a sin. Nehemiah said the same thing. So the point of that is that's why we stay separate. So whites should marry whites, or y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. Africans should marry Africans, but Israelites or blacks, Hispanics, we can. Now, if I wanted to marry a Puerto Rican or Mexican, I could do that.
Think I have a nice ass. You know, a really good ass. I see what you're doing. You're cherry picking.
Are you saying white women don't have nice ass?
I'm saying they don't have the gifts that the Puerto Ricans do. I'm just saying. Some of the Mediterranean chicks absolutely do. But Colombians, Puerto Ricans, you know, there's a little extra there.
Yeah, so you got to, but you can't marry my sisters now. Them Colombians and Puerto Ricans, them is my sisters. You can't get with them. You got to leave them alone. Those for us.
Unless he was trying to get on.
But Martin's first woman was a white woman, and he gave that woman up because he wanted to be a civil rights leader, and that's why he got with Coretta. But he always loved white women.
Oh, so it was symbolic. He wanted.
Yeah, he wanted the aesthetics.
Right.
Aesthetically, sidebar, when Kamala Harris was running for presidency and Obama was making black men feel bad, saying, you know the crazy part about that? Kamala married to a white man.
A Jewish guy.
It don't get no, that's white. It don't get, it doesn't get no more hypocritical than that. You telling black men that we don't support this black woman, but this black woman don't support, but this so-called black woman don't support black men because she's married to a Jewish woman. I'm a Jewish man, so I said it for you.
But love is love. You know, like you fall in love with someone.
Law is law. God's law supersedes.
Yeah,
if you love God, you keep the commandments.
I feel like I'd take a bet on, you know, marrying a nice Colombian chick and God would be all right.
Nah, he wouldn't.
I think he would.
Nah, he gonna punish the shit out of
We might test that one out. Oh, out of her, not me. All right, that's fine. That's good. As long as it's not me. I gotta protect myself here.
That's fucked up, man. That's messed up. So yeah, so Martin, he was just horrible because Martin is like the greatest thing in a lot of people's minds because like we don't teach to harm nobody. So we don't teach to beat, you know, we're against anybody that goes out there and beats up white people, harms white people, or harms anybody. You have a right to defend yourself. So if you're being attacked by anybody, you have every right to defend yourself. But we don't advocate violence against anybody. You should not do that. But we do have the right to speak out against crimes that are committed against us. And that's all we're doing. When we go out there and speak, we're not speaking about nothing that's not happening. We're speaking about things that are happening.
So you don't have the right to advocate violence against other people, but you can speak about the things that are happening against you as a form of defense. But at the same time, with that logic placed right here, you're also saying God said it's his will that you enslave
your
us.
future judgment. That's your future judgment.
But that means you're going to enslave us. And like, are you going to do it softly and say, oh, come on.
Hell no.
Right, you're going to use a whip. That's fucking violence. So this is like the shit, and this is
But
the
I'm
fart.
not saying, no. Wait, that's the shit. Let me see.
Or vice versa.
That could be the fart. That I'm trying to think which one should be the shit because which comes out. So, because even that we're just talking about what God is gonna do. It's like when somebody say Christ coming back, right? If Christ is coming back, people think Christ coming back to hand out ice cream. Christ coming back to kill. So
he's coming back to kill?
Yeah.
Who's he gonna kill?
Every nation.
All of them?
Yep, the nation is gonna fight. Like Revelation, the 19th chapter says that Christ had the head of many crowns. On his head was many crowns because he conquered nations. Even Christ said, "Think not that."
What do you mean? Is that like a metaphorical?
No, he's gonna conquer. Like when he come down here to rule. Just imagine if Christ comes and he say, "I'm ruling the earth." Russia ain't agreeing with that. America ain't agreeing. They like, nah,
They're gonna be like, fuck that war.
Right, they're gonna try to fight.
Yeah,
right. So he gonna kill him, and then
he's gonna kill him.
Yeah, he gonna kill the shit.
We got a really good military.
Not that good.
We got really good military.
Not
here.
that good.
I don't know if Jesus is packing that kind of heat.
Jesus packing way more heat
You
than
don't
that.
have that Lockheed Martin heat.
Watch, you see. He
Okay.
got something way better than that.
Okay.
If he could come from another realm, I'm pretty sure he got enough ammo.
How's he coming down here and when and who would?
Well, no man know the hour. That's what the Bible says. So I
Right.
wouldn't profess to say.
So you think when he comes down here, he's gonna come and,
With
for
an army.
example, but his army might be like the New York City chapter of the Black Israel. What's
His army is going to be, I think in Revelations, it says 200 million angels.
200 million angels.
Yeah. No, whoop ass.
And you can't shoot them because it shoots right through them.
Nah, why you say that? Because what you think?
They're not
ghosts?
physical. They're like a ghost.
No, they ain't no damn ghosts. They ain't no.
That's how I've seen my angels, you know? They're like,
You saw angels?
no, I'm just
Was
saying,
you
like
high?
in
Like, you
like
was-
in
you was-
like in
was
pop
you high
culture.
at that?
I don't think so.
In pop culture.
Yeah,
oh.
usually you can
Yeah,
like
that, you
wave
know,
your hand through them.
And was he naked too? Because a lot of white angels be naked.
They are. When did this happen?
Like when you go into Catholic church and stuff like that, all them angels be naked.
Oh,
Little
yeah.
babies and diapers, and
Yeah.
it says a lot about Catholic church.
What does it say about them?
It's they just paid California. They just paid
Yeah.
like 800 something million for
Yeah,
what
they
do
did.
to them babies.
Yeah, they did.
Lord be with them babies.
It's fucked up.
Don't be in if you in a Catholic church, don't let your child be in the altar.
I don't disagree with that. I think that's a fair
That's why
point.
they ain't. That's why you think them angels invisible.
But Christ coming down, his army of 200 million packing heat angels, but you think they're gonna look at you and be like, "Nah, you're good, fam. We're gonna
Facts.
I'm gonna chill at your house."
I'm gonna tell you, I got them all. I got Tommy over here, Julian, Kane, they all.
Keegan makes the cut.
Keegan.
Miguel's fucking.
No, I'm saying I
he's
got
a
them all
spam.
here for y'all to get them. Not
No. Wait a minute. Don't tell us out. This isn't Anne Frank's closet. Come on. This has a happy ending.
No sweat, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be happy for me for sure.
Yeah, but also for us. You know.
Yeah, I mean, y'all just won't. Maybe y'all won't get as bad as everybody else.
But you're saying he's going to attack everyone, and then whoever's left, like if he doesn't kill everyone, whoever's left is going to be enslaved by you.
Yeah, somebody got to build a kingdom. How does any kingdom get built? It ain't gonna be magic. Somebody got to lift up this brick, this mortar, weld this together.
Actually, touche here, or I don't know if that's the right word to use, but I recently talked with my friend Luke Caverns, who's an ancient Egypt expert, and we had a very fascinating conversation that spanned 6 hours. And within there was a subcategory where we talked about the history of like the context of slavery.
Right.
And one of the things he mentioned, and he's way smarter at this than I am, but he laid out the entire explanation, is that the way we use the term slave in the context of like ancient history and in text is very liberal. He's like slaves, for example, in Egypt. He wasn't even necessarily talking about the Hebrews. He was talking about all the different slaves they had over the years. A lot of them they might own land. Like they weren't even necessarily slaves.
Yeah, we think about slave from America. Whenever you say slave,
Yes.
America, you get hung, lynched, all type of back beaten. Whereas a slave could be, sometimes in ancient times, they would willingly go into,
That's right.
because it's like a job.
Yes.
Like that. So all slavery wasn't bad back then.
So what kind of slavery would you be envisioning? Because like I see the videos of you like out on the streets with like the whip and shit.
Oh, you saw that video?
Yeah, can we pull up that on Instagram? Leslie, go to Captain T's Instagram.
You might have to scroll down.
Tommy G sent me that and he was a little afraid. It was like this might be us. And I was like, wow, this really has an Instagram. So go to Captain T's.
You gotta scroll down. It was like the beginning, either end of October, beginning of November. Captain.
T-A-Z-A.
No, you know what? The captain's not on it. Just do the T-A-Z-A-R.
Yeah, just do T-A-Z-A-R. And we'll pull this up so people at home will be having the video on the screen so you can see it.
Did you put an A-R?
It's A-R,
Yeah, you put
not
ER.
taser like laser.
Yeah.
All right, Tazaryach. Yeah, first
That
one
first
right
one?
there. So now
Then you
go
gotta
to
scroll down. I
down.
post a lot, so you gotta.
I know you're firing up my feed, bro. Some
No,
of
keep
it,
going.
some of it's low key. Like I'm like, that's interesting. But you got to keep going.
Keep going.
There's a lot.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Wait, no, go back up. That one.
Yeah, top metal.
The other one right above that.
Yeah. Click that one. So this is some of the, you just cracking that whip. I won't put the sound on so YouTube can't blame me for this, but there's no people being harmed.
Nope.
There's just some good old.
Listen, he was doing.
Is he wearing some cowboy like?
Those are fringes on the pants, so we wear fringes on the side of the pants.
Like the Cowboys.
Yeah, I guess you could say.
How
cowboy.
very white of you.
That's not white. The original Cowboys was black.
Oh man, here we go.
Y'all wasn't out there doing nothing with no cows.
But this is like a serious whip.
Yeah. When you do it with the sound,
all right, do it with the sound.
He does a double smack.
Yeah, do it with the sound. Turn the sound on.
Put the sound on. Watch this.
Here we go.
Watch.
God damn!
You hear that?
My ancestors are feeling that. I should say my descendants are feeling that. That's a serious whip. So that's what you. But this is the thing, Captain.
You know, the Bible says, "Reward her double as she rewarded you."
That's a reward. That's not a punishment.
No. Wait, that's not in the context.
Oh, context.
Right. So in Revelation, the 18th chapter, this is what Julian and Tommy was talking about.
Okay.
It says, "Come out of my people and be not partakers of her plague." So now it's telling the children to come out of her, and because her stench has gone up to heaven. And then when it's saying reward her double as she rewarded you, it's talking about punishing her.
But do we know that I mean, reward is a nice word. I hear reward, I go, nice.
Remember what you were just saying about slavery back in the day. The word slave was different back then. So the reward is also different.
But so if there's, all right, let's say we have a Mendoza line here, right? Mm-hmm. Above it is free, below it is not free. We just had the scale different. This slavery, the way we talk about it, is always here, and all Luke was saying is that it's here, but it's still below the line.
Right.
If we have the same equilibrium line there, but on one side we have reward, and on the other side we have punishment. I don't think there's anywhere where reward goes on the punishment side, or punishment side goes on the reward side.
So when you look up the definition, it says to deliver, right? Mm-hmm. To render account. So when you're looking at the word reward, you're delivering something. Mm-hmm. So it's saying deliver her double as she delivered to you. So if she gave us 400 years, I mean, you got to get 8.
Oh, we got to do 800.
Yeah.
And what's that 800 going to look like?
I don't know. It won't be like what we went through.
But then that's not double. You're not giving.
No, what I mean by the amount of time is double, but you won't be essayed and stuff like that. You know, we won't be doing none of that.
You won't be doing any of that.
Yeah,
there's gonna be standards to your sleep.
Yeah, because we can't sleep with y'all.
Oh, right.
Right.
But what if you just do it with a condom?
I can't stand this. Yeah.
Listen,
you can't do it that way either.
I'm gonna poke holes here. Yeah. I'm trying to give you the idea of how to hold power.
Is crazy.
You write the words. What if you could hear them as a song? Go to suno.com, switch to custom mode, and paste in your lyrics.
I'm poking holes. That's crazy.
That's a shitty fucking condom.
Yeah, no, we can't sleep with y'all, man. So y'all safe from that position. Ain't that righteous? Is it righteous for those that were oppressed to get vengeance against those that oppressed them?
With the same example I gave earlier, I can think of things where that is the case. However, if I found out that if I met this dude whose great-great-great-great-grandfather essayed my great-great-great-great-grandmother, that's not going to do anything for me. No disrespect to my great-great-great. I mean, it's horrible that happened.
Let's say if the great-great-great-great-grandfather robbed your great-great-great-great-grandfather of his inheritance and then built his land off of that. By right, do you get to take back that land?
I'm a bad guy to ask this because I would not want to take something that I didn't earn. That's my mentality.
Take back what was robbed.
I know there are people who would do that, but that's not personally. That's not
right.
What.
But would that be right to do? Would he have a right to do that because it was stolen from him?
It sounds like you're talking about depending on the year the years that would have happened, because this happened over and over again across both sides. But it sounds like you're talking about Israelites and Palestine and Palestinians right now. It's a very similar argument that both sides have.
You know, that land don't belong to either one of them, but Palestine has more of a right than the Israelis.
Why do you say that?
Because the Palestinians were there before the Israelis, and when you do the history of when they went over there, the Palestinians welcomed them in with open arms. There's a video of them coming off on a boat. The agreement, and I think, is it a Buford Act, if I'm saying the name right?
It was the 1918. It was not the act. It was the.
I thought it was
the
called
note.
Buford?
No, what the fuck?
It wasn't. No, I had debated
the memo. It was the memo.
I had debated a Zionist.
Starts with a B.
On it. I thought it was Buford. I could have the.
It was 1917 British
Mm-hmm.
memo. Israel.
I think I got it in my
Balfour Declaration.
Balfour,
that was it. Balfour,
So
basically. He wrote a one long run-on sentence that he addressed to Lord Rothschild, who was a local Jewish guy within the power structures of England, basically saying that Britain would support the creation of an Israeli settlement within the Holy Land confines. And the context there is that Britain, as it would turn out incorrectly, thought that the Jewish community in the United States held sway over, they had some say within the government power to make decisions in the United States, and they wanted the U.S. to get involved in World War I, which ended up happening, but not their calculation that the Jewish people in the U.S. would be able to make that happen was incorrect. That's not what made it happen.
Yeah, and there was supposed to be a limit on in that Balfour Declaration. There was a limit of 75,000 immigrants that was only supposed to come. So there was a lot of things that the Palestinians were expecting it to be. And then when the Jewish man came in there, of course, we see that it didn't happen that way. And so that's why it's just been consistent war. So I'm not for either. But if I'm looking at how the Jewish man got in there and how he created these treaties, broke the treaties, I would say that they're more wrong than the Palestinians.
Yeah, I mean,
but I wouldn't give land to either.
It's the most unsolvable issue in the world
because that land don't belong to both of them. It'll never be peace over there ever.
So you think the land belongs to you?
Yeah, well, the land belongs to God. That's God's land, and He gave it to the children of Israel, the true children of Israel. So that Palestine, Israel, it's going to be war. I think Joel, the second chapter, when it says He's going to bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. We seeing, listen, man, Biden. We was talking about this offline, but Biden just gave Ukraine the ability to fight back. So Russia, if they didn't really think America was an enemy, they for sure think they're an enemy now. Russia is more of the Palestinian side. America is more of the Israeli side. Mm-hmm. So we can see what's coming.
I would like to think that's not gonna explode because it's a lame duck type situation. Like Vladimir Putin's a very bad guy, but he's not a stupid guy. He knows that there's a new administration coming in who doesn't even have to be friendly to him, but that doesn't like the idea that this insane war that's being funded by Western nations continues to go on and is incentivized more to make peace. And so when he sees the outgoing administration that has been the opposite doing this, there will be repercussions and people are going to die on the ground because it's a war.
Which is messed up.
It's very fucked up.
Yeah, because it's going to depend on how Ukraine attacks Russia with what America gave them. Because like you said, Putin is smart. But let's say Ukraine just started launching a whole bunch of shit at Russia. As smart as Putin is, he's going to have to retaliate. What are you going to sit there and say?
He will retaliate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He can't say, I'm going to sit here because this regime trying to set Trump up. He's going to say, no, I need to retaliate because depending on what damage they do, he's going to have to. So we see what the buildup is.
There's no doubt that there is a boiling kettle around the world, and both of these two.
And even I didn't see that coming. I didn't see Biden. And when we're saying Biden because Biden is the name, but of course Biden
ain't know what the fuck is going on.
He probably high.
They sent him another missile. Great, Donnie. They sent him a missile. Holy shit.
So he's not the one the face, but he's not the one pulling the strings behind him.
I agree.
So, you know, it's definitely an agenda. And here's the other side. Like, imagine this is what would this have happened if Kamala won? People got to ask that question too, because I think there's an intent for them to mess up the regime as Trump coming in. And I'm not a Trump supporter at all. Trump is a criminal.
I know. We laid that out.
Yeah,
earlier.
Trump
you
is
made that clear.
And he hiring criminals. He hiring people with some shaky backgrounds.
Some of the people, yeah.
Some of them have got some shaky backgrounds, and so we're gonna see a whole show in America. Get ready for the presidential apprentice show. That's what we're about to see.
Listen, he's an entertainer.
And every day we wake up, we're gonna see something else.
Every day there's gonna be some form of that.
He got a little dance they doing and everything.
The YMCA dance. I heard that's your favorite song, by the way.
Hell no, you didn't. That's the LeBiticu's favorite song, the YMCA.
You're not dancing with your diddly oil store?
Hell no. That's the LeBiticu's. That's their favorite song.
We got off your whole oil store there.
We can always talk about
There's no GHB in that oil, right?
Nah, THC I think it is. No. No, I don't do none of that. But my oil, like I'm on Amazon and Etsy, I'm what you call a star seller on there. Where star seller.
Do you sell to white people?
Listen, I'll tell you a funny white story.
What's up guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I'll be taking you behind the scenes and revealing my exact workflow. I'll show you step by step how you can integrate these techniques into a professional
glasses that exercise your eyes to strengthen the muscles within your eyes, improving your vision. The best part is all you do is wear them for 20 minutes a day. If you deal with eye fatigue, computer headaches, blurry vision, you should definitely try these out. I linked them in the TikTok shop for you.
So this white lady, this white lady buys some of my products. She likes the products. Give me a good review. Send me a picture of her hands. Her hands is like real crusty or something like that. And she sends me a picture, and she was like, "I really love your body butters and the way that you make them. Do you think you could make me a special one to put some witch hazel in it for me?" I said, "I sure can."
Witch hazel?
Yeah. So witch hazel must have been good for her. So I made a body butter. Put it to the side, put some witch hazel in it, whipped it up for her, and mailed it to her.
How nice of you. See,
listen, man. She bought it.
We can all get along.
Economically.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't have to be slaves for that to happen.
Not yet.
Our money's green, too.
All money is green.
That's right.
Green, silver, brown. Well, nobody wants the brown, but...
What, like the pennies and stuff? Yeah, no one really wants that.
Yeah.
I mean, and coins, it's like, you know, they're not convenient. They're heavy.
I remember you used to use coins for laundromats, but now you got to have a card for the laundromat too. So
yeah. What do you think of like guys like Dr. Umar who aren't a part of your movement, but you know, like I've listened to him talk over the years and stuff on social media, and he's got a lot of strong opinions. Like he has the whole like snow bunnies thing. Like, oh, there's.
I hate that term, snow bunny.
You hate that term.
Yeah.
Why do you hate that?
Because it still makes white women look good.
Because bunnies are like playboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should be like rats or something.
Oh, rats.
Yeah. Like how you call a white woman a snow bunny, but we call black women hood rats. Like that just don't add up to me.
The hood rat is not a good term.
That's what I'm saying. But snow bunny is a good term.
But the way he says it, I wouldn't want to be called that. He's like, oh, you want to get your snow bunny? Like he doesn't say it in like a, ooh, go fuck your snow bunny. You know, it's not
but
like
the term snow bunny is not a bad thing. People look at bunnies, it's Easter time.
I know, but we still shoot rabbits. I watched fucking cartoons when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I'll get you, silly rabbit. You know?
Yeah. But he always won. The rabbit always won. And that was a male. That was a hare. That wasn't really a rabbit. That was a hare.
It was a hare.
Yeah. So, but Umar Johnson is a decent guy.
Do you know him?
I've met him twice, I believe. I've met him twice. I've seen him speak. I think he's a good guy. I just don't like the whole school thing. I don't like that he telling people he's building a school and he's not. But outside of that,
he's telling people he's building a school and he's not.
Yeah, he's been building a school for like 10 years, 12 years.
Like a physical school or like an online school?
A physical school for I believe it's for black boys. Could be black girls too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not 100% sure. but the school's not been built. But he's raised money for that. But outside of that, so he's looked at. I look at him as like I would look at a Christian pastor, which is just a hustler. So he's a hustler to me. But he's intelligent on some things. On some things that he talks about, he's intelligent on. So he's not ignorant.
What are those things?
When he was talking about Kamala Harris, when he talks about the educational system sometimes, when he talks about the psychological damage that young boys go through. So there's some things that I'm going to agree with him on, but there's some things that I'm just not going to agree with him on. Whatever he talks about the Bible is false. When he talks about being Pan-Africanism, that's another false thing. So those are doctrinal differences that we have. But as far as him being a brother, I don't have no issue with him as far as that. I just wish he wouldn't have this school thing hanging over his head. Either complete the school or not. Outside of that, he's all right to me.
I see, like, on social media, you post a lot of cultural influence stuff, meaning, like, you post about the things that you think society is pushing upon what I would take as, like, all kids or stuff like that. I don't even think you're saying it's just black kids or anything. But, like, one of the things that really does bother me across all of society is how early sexualization happens.
Yes.
With not just content on TikTok, but like just in general with like you learning about that. Like they want kindergartners to understand this stuff. And it's like,
which is weird to me.
Right?
And it's a certain type of sexualization. It's only
What do you mean?
It's community based. It's mainly the community that they want you to learn about. What I mean by community, the LGBTQ.
Yeah, but even beyond that, like I see it the other way too. I'm not disagreeing with that. But like you will also see that like sexualization of young women to like really young boys, and then also by extension like young girls.
I just put a video on my Instagram. I put a video on my Instagram page of this, and it's so horrific, right? So I try to explain it without being too graphic. It's a young boy, and it's a lady. She's bent over. She just has panties on. And then somebody's filming the young boy watching it. Then the lady sees the young boy watching it. And instead of telling the young boy to go away or recognizing she got these panties on, she laughs with him and continues to bend down so that the young boy can see it. That's over-sexualization. Yeah. To me, that should be assault. And so I agree. Like our young girls, what they putting on TV, what they're doing, it's a lot of over sexualizing that just shouldn't exist. So that's if you saying it's not it's not. I don't really, when I post that, I don't think, hey, I'm just posting this for black people.
Right.
I'm posting it in general because that's what this society is pushing. Sex education, it's just sex. And it's taken away, and that's why. So when a young kid says, "I want to identify as this," or "I want to identify as that," or "I want to have sex," it's going to become acceptable soon. And we're in the beginning stages of it. We're in the beginning stages of the sexualization, and we're fighting against it. But 15 years from now, it's going to be normal, and that's the sad part.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm vehemently, because I got kids. I have young.
How many kids do you have?
I have 5.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. I got 5 kids, and so I don't want them growing up in that society. So now you got to battle that all day. Kids should be. When I was coming up, man, we played outside, even in the video game age. Like we didn't have to concern ourselves with how soon before I have sex, how soon before I do this, how soon before I do that. And it's coming through the music, it's coming through the movies, it's coming through everything of sex. That's the agenda.
Who do you think's like pushing that agenda? Like
Hollywood,
the American government?
I don't know if I would say that's American government. I would say that that's Hollywood or TV. That's Hollywood pushes that.
And you don't think that they're one and the same?
Yes, I would just say that that's the department of the one and the same.
Got it.
To push that agenda, because you might have like Republican. I don't vote, right? But Republicans,
you don't vote.
No. Because it don't benefit. Number one, the electoral already done determine who's going to win. You have the electoral. Mm-hmm. So that's why I don't vote. But Republicans are mainly more on my way of thinking. Republican, meaning like what I mean by my way of thinking, they're against abortion. They're against that lifestyle. They're more like that. Like not too much over-sexualization. Not saying that they don't do it, but not at the extent like with the Democratic Party. The whole presidential campaign was damn near abortion, community lifestyle, and over-sexualization. You could see that by her having Glorilla, Megan Thee Stallion. Like, and that's why I said when I was saying earlier, she really messed it up for her white constituents, because what white person is going to see you have this Megan Thee Stallion performing and thinking this is what a president should be? It's almost like she sabotaged herself. So you can even see that in over-sexualization, because who are they trying to get that attracted to? And the sad part about it is they're not trying to make that attractive to adults. They're trying to make that attractive to kids, because the kids are the ones that get fanned out. When we was growing up, we was fanned out by the entertainers that we saw. So if it was a Michael Jackson, if it was Michael Jordan, whoever it was, even if it was a woman, whoever it was, that's who you would be fanned out by. Even like this Angel Reese basketball player, they pictures of her, she got her ass out.
A lot, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so now the younger generation looking at that, you know what they're saying? If she can do it, I can put my ass out. And so that's what I mainly be against from the kids, what you was talking about. So I wouldn't say that I don't think of race when I'm doing that.
Yeah, I've said this before on the podcast, but like, I don't agree at all with China's system of communism. It's horrible. One unfortunate benefit of them having that ironclad system where they get to say what goes is that with their kids, the government controls what content they watch. They're not allowed to watch like TikTok, for example, after a certain time.
Right.
And it's all like their feed is like educational. It's like science videos and like art and stuff. And then you come over here and you look at an 8-year-old and he's looking at titties. And it's one of those unfortunate things where like democracy can be used against itself.
Right.
Because the freedom and free will can be used by corporations and business and hand in hand with the government or whoever it is, powers that be, to push a certain message that makes them money, lines their pockets, keeps everyone fat, dumb, and stupid.
Yeah, so if they would have banned TikTok, I would have been for it. Because, like, you got to really change your algorithm. If you're a brand new TikTok user, no algorithm or nothing, and you open your account, it's going to be full of all type of nonsense. I created my TikTok account, and I had to make my algorithm, like I work out and stuff like that, so I specifically would watch, like, workout videos, news videos, and stuff like that to get rid of all the smut that would, normally be on it. I saw this article, I don't know the village, but there was a village that had no access to the outside world. And Americans came, gave them access to the outside world, to the internet. And then the chief of that village said he regretted it because now all the people in his village, the boys, they just watching porn.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so, it's a horrible thing to sexualization. So I would say get rid of porn and OnlyFans. Like America, and that's why America is considered Babylon, is because there's so much
Babylon.
Yeah, because there's so much wickedness you could do here.
Who calls it Babylon?
The Bible.
The Bible calls America. The Bible knew America was going to exist.
Yeah, the Bible knows a lot of things going to exist. When
Where does
speaking
it say
prophetically,
that? Where does it say
when it says the daughter of Babylon, that's Revelations, the 18th chapter.
Yeah, but does it say like America?
It doesn't use the name America.
So this is the context.
Yeah.
Metaphorical.
Yeah.
So you're assuming that they're referring to this.
Well, so if someone believes in the Bible and know that Revelations is futuristic, if it's not America, you would have to say, because it says that this is the place of every foul bird and every unclean spirit. So then you would have to say, what other place can you do everything? And I don't know many places that you can do everything, and it's where everybody looks to. And America is that one place that everybody looks to.
I think a part of the problem with the free will downsides of, say, the internet and the internet age is that we're thinking of this in the context of society that includes people from, infants to 100 years old. And we're not considering the fact that when it comes to the internet itself, we are all a part of the same age generation. And let me tell you what I mean by that. If we're going to call Internet 2.0 the real birth of the internet, where people were on it like crazy across generations, talking with each other, throwing out their opinions, fighting, whatever, we're going to say that was the dawn of social media, which I'm going to put at Facebook, all due respect to MySpace Tom. We're going to call it Facebook in like 05, 06, 07. Let's split the difference and call it 06. We are sitting here right now towards the end of 2024. That means that the internet age of people sharing their opinions and using this tool that changes them to a warrior behind a keyboard, whether they're 80 years old or 8.
Yeah.
The internet age is 18 years old, meaning they're just going to college. The cerebral cortex of the internet era has not even formed yet to be able to make good decisions. So it doesn't matter if you came up with that and let's say you were 0 years old in 2006 and now you're 18. You're the same age in the internet era as the 80-year-old who was 62 in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have not yet adjusted to all of the many impetuses, whatever it is plurally, that get thrown at us to be able to deal with it, because there's no forefathers to say, here's how you deal with it.
This is how, like, to walk them through it, like to guide them through it. No, I agree with that totally, because like once you get online, especially when you get on Facebook, everything is accessible.
Yeah.
And even what you're saying, the 8-year-old and the 8-year-old, you don't know who's cussing you out. You don't know who you're battling. You don't know who the warrior is. You don't know who this person is or that person is. And you could be battling with a bot for all you know.
A lot of times you are.
You know what I mean? You have no freaking clue. And so you're right. We don't know what to do on the internet. You have to learn. You got to get over the mental illness, which is social media, where your life is predicated on likes now. How many likes you can get, how many, you make a post so that you can see, let you make that post and you think you popular in your mind and you come back an hour later and it's only 5 likes. You'll lose your mind.
People do. Yeah.
If there's no comments on there, you're looking for views, you're looking for that. And there is no algorithm of control, so to speak. So I actually agree with that statement there. I don't have
it's going to be curious to see how it adjusts.
I'm afraid.
I am too. I think, but also if you go back to the beginning of it, you talk about like a video first got you into this, and then you laid it out perfectly. You're like, and then you have the suggested tab next there that keeps pushing it to you. So in a way, like this kind of brings it full circle, because you saw something in there, maybe several things in there. Let's give it more credit. Identified with something where you were at that moment in your life, and things you had experienced and things you were thinking more of. And then this happens to everyone on the internet. The cognitive bias of the algorithm that wants to sell you the next thing that is going to keep piquing your interest to keep you on the app, which YouTube is the best at.
Right.
Keep pushing you that farther and farther, so that all the information you are getting and disseminating to yourself and analyzing is a part of the same kind of source material, such that you may form into beliefs that go beyond what is actually what it is. And let me put this more in English. I'm a huge believer in the universal law of physics. I say it all the time on this show. For every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction, which means the equilibrium is in the middle.
Right.
But when society gets really fucked up, those actions get farther and farther apart, and it's a violent equilibrium. So when I see movements like yours that could form that literally say, like, no, the Bible's telling us we're going to end up enslaving all the people who fucked us up, whatever, I view that as one of these strong actions back against an action that was taken wrong against your people, right? And what I wish we had in society, I wish everyone was here, but like that's not how life works. I wish those pendulums were more here. So maybe you weren't saying, oh, let's go enslave white people or whatever, or let's go do this or that. Instead, it's like, well, let's fix some of the things that have never been righted in society from, say, 1865, when slavery ended. Could you not see how you might have been pushed a little stronger by the internet itself to believe these things?
In a way, yeah, like the way you lined it up, seeing a video, seeing a suggestion, seeing and how I got. So without the internet, I might not have seen that.
Yeah.
But my organization was founded before the internet, so it was always there. What the internet did was brought a greater light to what was already existing. Now, fortunately for us in our organization, because we had structure when the internet came, we didn't have to figure out how to deal with it because we already had a plan in place or a structure in place on how to deal with it. So when you have those two forces, the way that the forces would not have to collide, we don't have to do anything because we're reactionary. The only person that would have to do something is the one that wronged in the first place. So if this side wrong, that from 1865 have said that they was going to fix it, but never actually fixed it, if they actually began to fix it, what they would actually do is get rid of anything that we could ever say. Now we ain't got nothing to react to. So the only reason we're the force that we are is because if you keep punching something, keep beating something, at some point, they're going to fight back. So because we're reactionary, it doesn't matter what we do. It mainly matters with this side. Like that side could shut us all the way up if the things that they said they would do, they actually did. What argument would we have? Even if it's in the Bible prophetically for that to happen, we still wouldn't have a fight because y'all not doing anything.
But still, okay, let's stay with that. If that action was here, and I'm calling this action for people listening, not watching, I'm holding my fist off to the right side in this case, just for opposite ends of the spectrum. If that action is slavery, and slavery stops, and really, to bring it back to equilibrium, they were supposed to do everything, 40 acres and a mule, all that. Right. They didn't do that.
Right.
So the scale just moved here instead. Right. Mm-hmm. It takes longer for things to get fixed, and we still see some of the downstream effects of that. But as society's moved along, when you look at statistics and numbers, it's moved more towards the middle, meaning like we're getting farther and farther away from slavery, and while there's still problems that need addressing, it's not nearly as bad as it was. So why then would the actions, the reaction, still have to be all the way out here? Because now it's uneven.
Because the reason why the reaction is all the way out there, because although we're far removed from slavery, the things that they put in place, while we were free from slavery, that broke up our homes, that put the drugs in the community, is why we still far out here. Because they don't have physical chains on us anymore, but they do have mental chains. They have drug chains. They have all these chains. So they've never stopped putting pressure on us. That's why we can't get close. We can't get to a medium because every time we turn around, there's always just been something to where now, really, he's on cruise control. So that force is really on cruise control because what they did with the drug epidemic, we ain't recovered from. So there's no medium that we can meet at.
I see.
Yes. So now, let's say if they did something and created some type of medium, then you would come back and say, look, they did this and they meant it. So why y'all still all the way out here? I wouldn't have nothing to say at that point.
Okay. Do you have any white friends, like actual friends, that you go get a beer with?
No.
Is that by
Tommy's the first white guy. I can't say by choice. So even before I was an Israelite, I had white people most white people that I was cool with was like through a job or school or something like that. Like when I was at school, I might have known somebody at school. When I was in the military, I had white people that I was cool with at the military. When I was working, I would have white people that I work with. I go around, when I'm around white people, there's no, I don't talk, like, we don't have these type. I play football, not play football, but talk football with them, talk basketball with them, go to work with them, get along with them. I remember I was working at this company, and it's a Puerto Rican brother working there. He comes to me.
He's safe.
Yeah, he's safe.
Okay.
And so when he comes to me, he was like, yo, they found your videos and shit, right? So they must have, somebody, so like, you know, when you get friends with, so when there was this guy, I gave him my phone number. So on Facebook, they must have suggested my Facebook account based on my phone number. And so they're playing my video for the president of the company. And so I just start packing up my laptop. I just start packing up my laptop and cleaning out my desk and stuff like that. Cause I'm like, there's no way they're going to keep me at this corporate job talking like that. And so, and he was Jewish. The president of the company is Jewish. And so Jewish guy brings me into his office. So we're sitting down there talking, and he's like, you know, I saw the video and I saw, you know, everything that you were saying.
It wasn't the whip video, was it?
No, it wasn't the whip video. I can't remember the video, but he was like, but you know, you don't do none of that here. I said, I never would, because I'm just teaching. I said, at this job, I'm not trying to convince nobody here to believe what I hear. I'm just doing my job. And I kept my job. I didn't lose the job or anything. And then I left the company on my own volition and then came back to the company. So when I'm around white people, it's not, you know, you white people gonna go enslave and chain and stuff. I could laugh with them, joke with them. I watch white movies. I watch white sports. Do all that.
See, to me,
why waste another summer not loving your body?
With Base 44,
few things with you. Number one, you're a pretty intelligent guy. You have an in-depth knowledge of a lot of things, even if it's biased in a certain direction.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you clearly study things, you think deeply about things, you analyze what's going on, not just as it relates to your belief system, but in things in general society. You're also like a really friendly guy. Like, we've been getting along with you all day on and off camera. It's hilarious because it's like, Leslie, who's coming over today? Oh, the guy that wants to enslave all of us. And we're laughing about it. So to me, and then I hear stories like this where you get along with people, and probably, even if you don't admit it to yourself, or even if it's because you have to go the same place as them and that's the only reason it happens, you probably are like friends with them. You probably, if they, like, as a human being, I can see you have a beating heart. If something went wrong and they called you and needed help, you'd probably fucking help them. And so to me, and this is actually something I believed before I talked with you, because I saw your content with Tommy. I talked with Tommy about this, and I think, I don't want to speak for him, but I think he probably thinks a similar thing. There's just a cognitive dissonance in you that says that, like, is able to ignore all the human to human interactions you have that go against the idea that, like, there's this us versus them, that then makes you believe that, you know what, the Bible says this, so I'm going to do that. Sorry, it's God's word, not mine.
Yeah, so, like, of course, the Bible is my blueprint. So when I read the scriptures, it says, be at peace with all men, honor the brotherhood, right? So I'm always going to be at peace with all men unless you give me a reason not to. So you don't give me a reason not to. It's not unlawful to joke with white people. It's not unlawful to get along with them. It's not unlawful to work with them. It's only unlawful, like, to marry them. It's only unlawful to follow their gods. It's only unlawful to do all those things. So because it's not my judgment, it's just the judgment that the Lord gave, I'm a free man. So I don't feel inferior with my power. So what I mean by inferior with my power, I believe that I'm powerful enough and believe everything that I say, but it doesn't make me so inferior that I got to be uncomfortable to have a conversation, to be decent with you, to be cordial, to do all those things, because we see that in the Bible. When Christ spoke, when Elijah spoke, when Joseph spoke, when Nehemiah spoke, when they all spoke with people of other nations, they didn't speak in a God gonna kill you type of context. They spoke in a, if you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. X, Y, Z, like that. So I just conduct myself just like that. That's how I've always looked at it. My father never taught me to be afraid of people or anything like that, and I just don't think it's wrong if you say something funny, and then it's just my nature. I like to joke sometimes. I'm as serious as I could be, and I have a light switch, so it's like a light. So, like, if, let's say, for the sake of argument, if somebody else came in here and went left field, like a light switch, I would just switch.
What do you mean?
Meaning, like, how we all joking, even though we're having serious conversation, joking, we're doing all that. Let's say if somebody else came in here and changed their whole atmosphere and made it contentious.
Right.
I would flip like a light switch.
And what does that look like?
I mean, it just depends. I mean, I could be a lunatic. I could be a savage. I could be anything. It's just, that's the power that you have. The power, like, you got to be comfortable enough to know this is the lane that we're in right now. So I don't have to come at you with no information, nothing like that. But if someone comes in on the, and I'm pretty sure you're the same way. If somebody comes in here contentious, you ain't gonna be joking in their face when you know they contentious.
Yeah, if you can't loosen someone up, that's
yeah, and so that's mainly what it is. So with Tommy, with you, with Keegan, you know, y'all came with professionalism. So if I don't be professional, then you're gonna walk away and say he's a typical black angry guy that doesn't know how to conduct himself. Just like if you wasn't professional, I would say this is a typical white guy that doesn't know how to conduct himself.
See what you just did there, though?
What?
You had to say typical angry black guy. You had to say typical white guy that doesn't know how to conduct himself. Mm-hmm. If that were the scenario, the hypothetical one you pointed out, why can't we just say typical angry guy, typical guy that doesn't know how to conduct himself?
Well, because
why
you
asked
asked
me,
me,
make it race?
Because you asked me about, well, you said, you brought up, do I have white friends?
Yeah.
So when you brought up the white friends, right, that's why I was keeping it separate like that. But generally, that's why I said, be at peace with all men, honor the brotherhood. So I'm going to be at peace with all men. That was my first statement. So that wasn't no race. That's everybody. I'm always going to be at peace with all men unless you give me a reason not to be at peace. Even when I speak about, when I was talking about like y'all and government and stuff like that, I'm speaking collective. I'm generally. Every white person is not like that. Every black person, every white and black person is not the same. So that's why I could just, be who I am. I like to say that the Lord gave me this spirit. Personally, the Lord gave me this spirit to be able to come in spaces like this, go in spaces like Tommy's. There's another show. There's a guy named Ralph. He has a show called Kill Stream. Extremely racist. He don't like to think he's racist, but it's an extremely racist show. You're white. I go on their show. I think I'm the only black guy in the Hall of Fame. So I think the Lord has given me a gift to be able to go into these different environments and just be myself without compromising my beliefs.
Well, I think that's an admirable trait that you do go and you talk to anyone, because also I think that I find in this type of job, beliefs can shift upon more conversation and stuff like that for the better when you are open to those conversations. And in society, there's a lot of problems where we're not open to it. But I do think, like, Tommy's doc with you guys was excellent. It was extremely entertaining as well. But like, there are he made some beautiful points in there that I didn't think you guys had answers for. And one of them, to summarize what it was like, whenever you are going to, no matter what the impetus is, whenever you're going to take out something on another person just on the basis of what their race is, that's stupid. And I do still, like, that opinion hasn't changed in my opinion today. Like, I don't think a guy like you who has the personality you do and the people skills you do and the knowledge that you do and the camaraderie that you're able to build with people, I don't think that the cognitive dissonance you have to be able to say that in that moment where God says suddenly, all right, you're on, bring out the whips, I don't think that's conducive to the rest of the person that you are.
It doesn't have to do with the race. It just has to do with the people that did it. It just so happens you're a different race than me.
Isn't that kind of a cop-out, though?
No, because... Is it a cop-out? Y'all, okay, so from y'all side, y'all look at it as we're doing it because you're white. From our side, we're doing it because you're the people that did it to us. Your race you could be Hawaiian, we'd be feeling the same way.
But you're saying this is because God says it in the Bible, and you're taking it as a literal interpretation. And so what I would say is that if you believe that in this all-powerful God who created Earth and loves mankind, even for their flaws, don't you think that, like, if you get up to the pearly gates and you're talking to that God one day, however the Creator looks, don't you think that that all-loving God would probably not support doing these types of things to other people that have been done unto you? I mean, that's like kind of the golden rule.
No, because God is not all-loving. God is angry. God is a man of war. God is everything. And it's God that said, he that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So that God at the pearly gate said, didn't I tell you it was going to happen like that? That's what he's going to say.
You believe that?
Hell yeah. I read it. If I didn't believe it, it would be no point in reading the Bible. If I didn't believe it.
How do you look back, like, on yourself before you joined the Israelites? Because you mentioned earlier, like, obviously you spent some time in the military. You had your eyes open there with some of the things that were wrong, for sure. But in the years after that, you mentioned you were doing things that were, like, I forget the word. Maybe you used, like, the word sinful or something like that, like things that were wrong. Right. Do you think part of it is, like, you fell into this with that proverbial man's search for meaning because you were disappointed in things in your own life, and so you kind of landed on this because those videos came up and suddenly you studied it?
At the time that I came into the truth, so the part that you say looking for a purpose in life, yes. At the time that I came into this belief, I didn't have no real problem. Outside, now, sins aside, I didn't have problems, really. I had a successful job, decent place, I had my kid. I was pretty straight for all intents and purposes. But if you remember, I told you when you watch Minister Society, that guy Sharif, and he was so I was like that as a 15, 16-year-old kid, where I would be bad, but in the middle of that, I'd be like, man, we got to stop this. We got to stop that. So I always had a desire to change not just my outcome, but my people's outcome. So I always had that. I just didn't see no benefit like in the church. I didn't see no benefit in Islam. I didn't see no benefit anywhere. But whenever we would all be around, I would be the guy that, you know, if they wanted to hear something, they would ask me, well, what does he think about it and stuff like that. So I always kind of had the position. I just didn't know how to channel or how to properly use it. So when I came into being an Israelite, it gave me the space to actually use what I feel was God's gift to be able to go out and do what I do.
I ain't got no limit, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm limitless. I ain't got no limit, yeah.
Are the other guys in your organization very similar to you, or are there a lot of different types of personalities that kind of...
Yeah, we all believe the same thing, but we teach different. So we're not going to all be one the same. So there's some that are like me. There's some that I'm like them. There's some that are totally different from me, because everybody's not the same.
In what ways?
It could be any way. Some might be more aggressive than me. Some may not be as aggressive than me. Some may speak better than me. Some may not speak. So it's just all different personalities. And some people go in different spaces. Some people, if a brother's in charge of our security department, for example, he's going to be more no nonsense than I am. So he's not playing games because he has to make sure everything is secure. So his position doesn't give room for niceness, so to speak, because he's secure. So it just depends on the positions that they're in. So we're different, but we're same spirit, but different functions. That's probably better.
Are your parents still around?
My mother is. My father passed away back in 2009. Actually, my father, in 2009 he passed away.
Okay. What does your mom think of your belief system?
My mom is one of the reasons I stayed. So I was before I found ISUPK, I had this dream, and I gave my mother the dream, and my mother was like, you know, that dream means you just keep doing what you're doing. And so my mother she doesn't call herself an Israelite. She's still a Christian, but she supports what I do.
Okay. And to be clear, because we kind of outlined this, I just want to make sure everyone at home gets it. You guys view yourself as the true Israelites,
right?
But you are not Jewish in the sense that you don't think Christ happened. You believe that Christ is the Messiah.
Yeah, Christ. Yeah.
So it's a form of Christianity in a way. In a way.
Well, I wouldn't say Christianity because Christians don't do nothing that God said to do. So, but if a better way to say Messianic Jew, if someone said that term, that would fit. Like a Messianic Jew would fit.
Okay.
Because we are the real Jews or the real Israelites, and we believe in Christ. So we believe in the New Testament.
Where does that leave the regular Jews?
What, the fake one? The one?
All right, I guess that answers the question.
Yeah, they're fake. Yeah.
Okay.
Like Revelations 2:9 says, I know them that say they are Jews but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. That's
can we pull that up? Revelations 2:9?
2:9, yeah. Revelations chapter 2, verse 9.
It's a hell of a picture right there, by the way.
That's not me. That's some guys that believe in Kemet. I don't know. That's an ump. Yeah, that's a ump. That's a rod on their neck.
Okay. All right, Revelations 2:9. That's 2:17. Can we click it?
Right there, 2:9.
Oh, I know your tribulation and your poverty, but you are rich, and the slander of those who say that they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. Is that another one, though, where there's a lot more context needed?
No, well, when it says, I know your tribulation and your poverty, but you are rich, that's saying that we're poor, but we're rich in faith, rich in spirit. And it says, and the slander, but in the KJV, it says, and the blasphemy of those who say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
Yeah. And why? So you also think that Christ was black. You had said that earlier.
Yeah, the Bible says it.
Where does it say that?
In Revelations 1:13 through 15.
All right, Revelations 1:13 through 15.
Mm-hmm.
Black Jesus. That was my black Jesus growing up, but that's neither here nor there. All right, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, and one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. I have no idea what that means. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as flame of fire, and his feet like unto, this is the line you repeated earlier, were like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. That doesn't necessarily mean he's black, though. That can mean he's like, Middle Eastern, right?
So, yeah, hair like wool. His head and his hairs was white like wool.
Osama bin Laden had hair like wool.
As white as the color, wool is the texture. And then it says fine brass, as if it burned in the furnace, meaning very dark. He wasn't white.
He wasn't white. I agree with that. That's crazy.
Shalom.
Yeah, he was not white.
Right, he was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah.
Right, but also, it doesn't necessarily, because we're playing this game with how we know race now.
That's what I'm saying. We ain't got to use the term black.
Yeah.
But he would be what you call melanated or brown.
Yeah.
And he's an Israelite from the tribe of Judah.
Yeah, can you pull up AI Jesus, how AI says Jesus would look, and then there's another. But
they got an AI Jesus for real?
Yeah, how AI says Jesus would look, and then pull up if we can Google. Maybe, I don't know. I might get it wrong. There's another one I was looking at, but Google on a separate one. What sign? Yes, yeah. The one. See the one on the far right on the inset. Second one down. On the screen, Alessi.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, right there. So up.
That's the AI Jesus?
Left, up. That one, right there.
They're saying that's the AI Jesus.
Yeah, he looks dangerously close to a not great person. But that was an AI one. If we can also Google what scientists project Jesus would have looked like.
That's crazy, though.
Because this one's not AI. I've seen this one before, too.
Good,
if I can find it. Because, that hair's looking a little woolly right there. I'm just saying, what scientists have recreated the face of Jesus? Hit images. That's better. Let's not get a fucked up one. Oh, oof.
That looked crazy as well.
Yeah, he's not good looking.
This is the most legit one.
AI uses the Turin shroud to reveal what Jesus might have. Yeah, but Jesus couldn't have been white.
No.
He's not front. I will agree with that. He couldn't have been Snow Bunny white, to quote Dr. Umar.
Snow Bunny white.
He had to be. He had to be tan.
Snow Rat white.
Okay. He had to be tan. There had to be. You know what I mean? It was nice out
of skin of bronze as if it burned in the furnace.
Yeah,
that's a dark man.
That can't be it. Yeah, that's another form of AI.
That's Shroud of Turin. You don't even know if that's real or not either.
Is there anything that you could come across without knowing what that specifically would be that would change your mind?
No. From what I believe?
You're not open to change your mind if presented with better evidence, including biblical evidence that maybe isn't known right now.
No, I don't. So I've been doing this for about 15 years, not a long time. And in that time, I have yet to see any information. And I'm somebody, I debate a lot of different subjects and different beliefs and different Bible conversations and stuff like that. And I have yet to be hit with anything that's made me say, this is what I'm doing is wrong. Or what I believe in is wrong.
But in the future, if you did have something, if you saw something that truly was better evidence, would you be open-minded enough to be like, okay, I could shift my opinion on this?
The scriptures say, let God be true and every man a liar. So if there is something out there that God said to do, I would do it.
All right. Fair enough. This has been fun today, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. I had a ball, man.
You're a funny guy. You're fun to talk with, too. You do know a lot.
I appreciate it.
We do obviously disagree on many things,
right.
But I appreciate you having the conversation. And like I said, I'll link Tommy's documentary down below.
Yeah, definitely.
Shout out to Tommy for hooking it up.
Yeah, let me know when you put it out, too, man, so I can, promote it on my side and stuff.
Absolutely, will do. I appreciate you coming.
No problem.
Look, you shook my hand and you wanted to
say I knew he was going to say that shit, man.
Look at that.
As soon as I shook his hand, I knew he was going to say that.
We got it on camera. Everybody else, give it a thought. Get back to me.
All right,
Peace.
No problem. Peace.
Thank you guys for watching the episode. Before you leave, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and smash that like button on the video. It's a huge help. And also, if you're over on Instagram, be sure to follow the show at Julian Dorey Podcast, or also on my personal page at Julian D. Dorey. Both links are in the description below. Finally, if you'd like to catch up on our latest episodes, use the Julian Dorey Podcast playlist link in the description below. Thank you.
Alright, so as usual, Captain Tazaryach always represent, you know what I mean? Somebody asked if Cap live on him channel. Cap always live, man. Just go over to Captain Tazaryach TV. You know what I mean? If him not do Car Chronicles, you know what I mean? He might do some debate. You understand? Or he might do a rebroadcast of some debate. So, you know what I mean? Go over to Captain Tazaryach TV, subscribe. You know what I mean? Click the notification bell. Make sure you stay in tune with Cap. You know what I mean? What we do over here so is react. You understand? It's a reaction. You understand? Sometimes I don't do much reaction because, you know what I mean, there's not much to react about. But, you know what I mean? Because sometimes the platforms, them different. You see? But we do reaction over here. So, you understand? But if you want to see Captain Tazaryach's more, what you call it now? More recent debates, because me I go through them by stages. Well, as soon as me see them, I just put them up. You know what I mean? I may have a lot of them in the queue right now, so you might not get the latest thing over here right now. You understand? So, but if you want the latest thing, go over to Captain Tazaryach TV and you definitely will get the latest. You understand? Captain Tazaryach debate almost like every week. So you always have to find something new. So, you know, make sure to go support him aisle. You know what I mean? I think we need to do an affiliate program for that, you know, and post him link. You understand? And we'll start post cap link in the chat if possible. I don't know how YouTube favor the posting a link thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, so with that, you know what I mean? Remember to click the like button, subscribe, share, and you don't know the thing. But if you have questions, you can also leave it in the chat. Yeah, somebody, Tiffany channel say it's on YouTube. Yeah, man. Yeah, so make sure to go over to Captain Tazaryach TV on YouTube and subscribe. And with that, I'm out.
I need answers. How is it I can see perfectly through these pinhole glasses without my contacts in? I can see every leaf on that tree. They're called pinhole vision correction glasses. No prescription. It's just tiny little pinholes in the plastic lens. Apparently they train your eye to focus with just wearing them 20 minutes a day. So whether you're nearsighted, farsighted, or have astigmatism, they reduce your eye strain and help strengthen your muscles over time. I've worn them for about a week, and last night I noticed while driving, at night, there were less halos around all of the lights that were outside, which is extremely noticeable, especially since I've been seeing those halos for years. They're only $15, and I think today they're having a sale, so they're even cheaper than that. And you get free shipping. I'll leave the link right there.
You ever notice how every time you go to the eye doc, your eyes get worse and worse, and so your prescription has to get more and more severe? That's because glasses and contacts make your eyes lazy, and they start to basically build a tolerance to whatever it is you're working with, and then they get more and more degraded. But there are ways that you can work your vision out without glasses or contacts, and it's these pinhole glasses. Ask your eye doc, because you've definitely seen one of these at his office. Basically, the pinholes act as a tiny camera aperture, blocking out all the scattered, out-of-focus light rays and only allowing in the narrow parallel light rays, and the result is your vision is much clearer without glasses or contacts. AKA your eyeballs are getting off the couch and getting the exercise that they desperately need. Now, people on the internet are saying that these are helping them correct their vision just by wearing them for 20 minutes a day without their glasses or contacts in. However, there are no studies showing that that is actually possible, and an industry has never buried study results before to protect themselves. right? Anyway, these are on TikTok. They're super affordable, and I just started using them today, and it's insane how clear things look that are so far away from me that usually I would not be able to see whatsoever. It would just be a giant mesh Gaussian blur of bullshit, right? I put this in, and the way that it allows the light to come in, I can actually pinpoint and see these things far away. Pretty strange. If you want to give it a shot for yourself, click that, grab these, and get your eyeballs off the couch. Want to see something that shouldn't make a goddamn bit of sense? Watch this. I take my prescription glasses off and I put on these pinhole glasses, and I can fucking see things in places I shouldn't be able to see them. Here's how it works. Basically, each pinhole acts as a tiny aperture, okay? And so it blocks out all the scattered light rays that your brain usually wouldn't take into your retina in the back of your head, right? And it only lets in the narrow focused light rays, and so now I can see things so much further away than I normally would be able to. Everything over there would normally be a blur. Now, you're supposed to wear these for 20 minutes a day, and it helps to retrain your eyes because glasses, contacts, they make your eyes lazy, right? That's why every time you go to the eye doc, your prescription gets worse and worse, right? And so these are supposed to help you recalibrate your eyes a little bit. Now, there's no studies showing that this is like a long-term solution, and besides, there's never been any industries that have covered up studies to protect the wealth of their industry. It's never happened before. So I'm giving them a shot because I've seen a bunch of people online say it's working for them, but I cannot fucking believe how far away I can see things that oh my God, dude, that's insane, bro. Anyway, they are dirt cheap. They are seriously stupid cheap. You might as well get them even if you're not going to use them type cheap. And yeah, they work well. I've been wearing them for 2 days now. I still don't fucking understand how it works. By the way, you can test this out at your house, okay, if you don't.
Train your eyes like a muscle and improve your vision. These are pinhole glasses that exercise your eyes to strengthen the muscles within your eyes, improving your vision. The best part is all you do is wear them for 20 minutes a day. If you deal with eye fatigue, computer headaches, blurry vision, you should definitely try these out. I linked them in the TikTok shop for you.